And MK has humbled the EFF to an extent that says, no, these are your numbers, and this is our numbers. So you look at, I was calculating the other day, ANC, MK, EFF.
Yeah.
They reach 66%, and that is, those are the numbers that you need.
To change.
Yeah, those are the numbers that you need to change.
The constitution.
Yeah, so the same numbers that we were 10, 15 years ago, these are the same numbers of African people voting for Africanness. So, meaning the DA can be defeated only if black people are united. Let's first unpack the ceiling of the EFF, where you think the EFF can grow more than this.
Okay.
Please admit, they are at 10% now.
Yes.
What do you think, how far can the EFF go?
I think the potential of the EFF is not limited, it's unlimited currently.
In terms of growth?
In terms of growth.
Okay, let's see.
The reason behind that is, I believe that they just need a change in terms of their messaging and also their messenger. EFF.
Okay, say it and wait.
The EFF is, most of the time they've been saying the same thing, but then there was a point in which they started amplifying a message that does not go along with what South Africans want. And I think we all know that message when which Julius Malema started advocating for free borders, free open borders and free entry into the country.
Yeah.
So I think that is one thing that has helped the EFF, especially in this election. Also the persona of Julius Malema. I think he's the one who has reached his ceiling, not the EFF. And I believe that hopefully in the next conference he will be challenged, preferably by someone who's an intellectual, perhaps a person like Floyd Shivambu. I think Floyd will do a much better job leading the EFF than Julius Malema. But I think we should be definitely thankful for the work that Julius has done. But then I think we at this point, there needs to be a transition of power. He should remain within the EFF, but then not lead the organization. But I do not believe that if he leaves, he'll remain in the EFF, because he has extreme delusions of grandeur. And but hey, if it happens that he leaves, we'll see. Okay,
so I've got the advantage of seniority. So when the EFF was founded, so I was obviously older than you. One of the things I said was, all these guys, they were youth league age.
Yes.
All of these guys had longevity. But what happens with longevity, because it was at the time we were criticizing Zwelinzi Mavavi for being COSATU for many years.
Yeah.
You see, of saying to other people, you will not be seen as a Democrat the longer you sit. And you have raised it, because I didn't ask you what were the issues. You asked, the first issue stated about EFF could still grow. The problem is impeded by the messaging of Julius Malema, talking about open borders. I've said many times that I don't think the open border, Julius Malema is right about open borders. The problem is the message that he says. People, his enemies are using it, and the EFF takes light to people who are misconstruing what they say, because it's a noble idea, but his detractors are using the very same good idea to his detriment, and he ignores it. But that ignorance is driving a lot of people away. They may not be significant, but people are using it to his disadvantage. Number two, you spoke about him being challenged. You know, and it goes back to my first point. I doubt Floyd has the charisma, the soundbite effect,
Yes.
the crowd pulling that Julius Malema and Jacob Zuma have.
No, that's true.
Because the battle for the mind and soul of the EFF, it's not cult, and it's unfair to label them as a cult. It's the same thing with Jacob Zuma. People were willing to vote for MK, even before Jacob Zuma could tell them what MK stood for.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
The same Julius Malema had.
Sure.
These are the two South African politicians that no one can match. No one can match Julius Malema.
No, yes.
You understand?
Sure.
And I understand what you're saying, because you are saying they need to change the messenger and the messaging. I agree with you. I want to ask you now, I'm giving back to you. How are they going to do it? Because in politics of South Africa, you can look at DA. Helen Zille moved away, but she didn't move away. I can mention a lot of examples in the ANC where Ramaphosa came back. They need something to go and keep them busy. But where are you going to park Julius Malema to come back to the EFF when the time is ready? Because he must remain in the EFF or remain aligned to the EFF, where he's a sympathizer like you and I. We sympathize with the EFF, but we are not in the running of the EFF. Do you think the EFF has enough? I don't know what to. I don't find an English way to label. They've got enough of this thing that we want from them to do it? Unpack it for us.
I think the EFF has enough intellectual capacity within their ranks to do it, to lead this country. And going back to what you were saying as to where can we park Julius, I think he should actually remain in the top 6, maybe as a chairperson, just to make sure that he occupies a position and doesn't feel outside of these decision-making structures. He should remain within the EFF, and maybe that will keep him busy and not disgruntled enough to want to go somewhere else. Because the truth is, Julius Malema does actually have a huge following, and if he were to leave the EFF, he may take more than half of the voting public for the EFF. I definitely think he would take more than half of the voting population of the EFF. So we need to keep him within the EFF. They need to keep him within the EFF, but then there needs to be structure around how to keep him busy and also how to keep him quiet as well, because he can ruin anything that the EFF is working on just by saying one thing, and he also controls a huge media following. So, yeah, and what was the question again?
The question was, do they have capacity within the EFF to come up with a way that says, Julius, you're not leaving. So the DA has the federal what. They can go and pack someone. He's still senior. And in fact, with the DA, it's a very extreme example, because wherever they packed Helen Zille, she's still more senior than everyone who's running the party.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So they've made a parallel thing where seniors are in the ANC, maybe they will call it the Veterans League, where they could pack someone. He's not involved in the operations of the political party, but they are still there. So maybe you would take like Bugadi and Mpofu, you
Yes.
sit them somewhere.
Yes, yes.
And then Floyd ran this operation of this organization. Because this year they are going to the elective conference. So they might as well talk about these policies of how we need to do, because they need to rejuvenate themselves. So that was what I was asking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I think I answered that because
Yes.
with the chairpersonship.
Yes,
but
you are inside the party. You are running the party every day for a chairperson.
because I don't think the EFF currently can have a organization, parallel organization like your Veterans League within the organization.
Yes.
Because I think even he wouldn't agree to such a thing. So he needs to feel like he's in charge. He always says, I'm in
And
charge.
the problem is he's larger than life.
Yes.
Like, he can't be, the people who left, they said, well, Andile himself, and I had the privilege of speaking to Andile. Julius Malema is larger than life. You see, you big, you take the whole room. Julius Malema is like that. And I don't think him being the chairperson, the president and the deputy president would feel they're in control. So he needs to leave, but without leaving.
Then it's not going to happen.
So you agree, they don't have enough capacity to do it. Currently, they don't have enough capacity to pack him, and then while he's still in the phone.
No, I don't think they do.
And this, let me qualify it. We're not saying Floyd wants to contest him. Whenever the media tries to throw this bone at the EFF, of course with negative intentions, Julius Malema has come out clear to say he has never lost a conference in his life. And he feels so confident that even if Floyd were to contest Julius will win. Julius qualifies it by saying it doesn't make him think less of Floyd. It's because of how strong he thinks. This man has defeated Cyril Ramaphosa, has defeated Jacob Zuma. This is how strong Julius is. And when we say he has won against Julius and Cyril, don't get us wrong, people who don't understand the politics of ANC. We mean the slaves that were controlled by these people. Julius Malema defeated them. This is what we're talking about. Yes, Julius Malema is a monster. He will tell you from his student politics. Well, Julius Malema's student politics, they don't really correlate. But I'm saying from his youth league politics, from COSAS, Julius Malema has never lost a conference. And we're not saying Floyd wants to contest him. We want to get it clear, because Lena fighters, you fight a lot just about anything. When we say something, we need to qualify it, because now you are labeling me, or now in my channel I hate Julius. But anyway, so here's the thing. Julius can be parked. We both agree at their current state, because they don't have anywhere to park him. Can they move him outside the party? So in the Cyril way, Cyril left the party. Yes, he left the party and he went into business. Can Julius go in? He can't go into academia.
No.
He can't go into Chapter 9 institutions.
No.
He's too much a political animal that everywhere you go, he's going to outshine whatever the thing is. So he did not have a good transition going into African politics, where he was going to, he was fighting the Francophone unit in the African Union, in the African Parliament. So can he go there into Africa? Because that's a viable thing. Because remember, Nkosana Dlamini Zuma went there.
Yes.
And she came back. Can we send him there?
Because
no one in South Africa is best suited for that than Julius. Can he go there?
The problem is, maybe he can.
Maybe he can.
Yeah.
Because the battle with the Francophone Africa will now get better, because both Traore have come up. Yes, Senegal has come up. Francophone is not as European aligned, France aligned as it was. So maybe it's the time for Julius to go.
Sure, I think he can, but with especially with regards to the message that he's spreading of African unity.
Yes.
But if he does go that route, it would still take him a long time to get that message across, even within Africa.
Yeah.
Because most African leaders are dictators. That's the thing. And then with himself as well, he's showing traits of that within his own political party. But if he was to go there, I think that would be a more suitable position for him, because the EFF does not control power within South Africa. Mm-hmm. And if they did, perhaps a position or a business position would be created for him, or some sort of partnership would be created for him to lead in some sense. But currently there's nothing like that. But with positions like that, they would require the ANC's buy-in and other political parties, especially in a situation in which we have a government of national unity. Perhaps if the EFF contemplate such a move, then they would have to join into the GNU right now and then see later as to, it would need someone who's cunning, who's forward-thinking to do that. But anything is possible. Anything is possible.
All right. So we're speaking about this. By the time this goes out, we might have a new government in South Africa, and we would wait. Maybe I don't know how long we'd wait to see the portfolios in our executive. Whoever becomes the president will then have more time to bargain, to work on his bargaining chips and form a government with an executive of ministers. Should Floyd not get any executive position in the ministries, do you think it would be a futile year for the EFF? Because already they're hemorrhaging in terms of numbers, because now they're less than 10%. So if they don't get anything, because now they want, previously they did not want, and they're strong and they did not want position. Now they want something in.
I think we are reading too much into what the EFF has lost, because the EFF has not really lost that much. They've only lost around 300,000 voters.
That come from Natal.
Yes,
because
that come from
300,000 votes came from Natal in 2019.
Yes. And then the DA also lost votes as well in this election. And many people don't actually...
Because we wanted DA to collapse in our majority. It didn't. It stuck strong, and that's why people are saying, how can people fall but DA remains strong?
It remained
strong, because everyone is collapsing, but they remain strong.
Yes.
Because with the exception of MK.
Yes. And I feel that when the ANC announced that they were contemplating a government of national unity, I felt that was just a plot really to sideline political parties like the EFF and the MK, because they know that they wanted to work with the DA, but they could not come out and clearly state that these are our preferred partners for the coalition. And then they just used this government of national unity to
frustrate EFF.
To frustrate the...
Because they already said they don't want GNU.
Exactly. The parties like the EFF and MK as well. Because with MK, we know that Zuma will not work with Cyril Ramaphosa. You see. Yeah. So this was a very, very smart move by the ANC. And even though